Grace and Mindy at the movies. Grace and Mindy at the movies. Grace and Mindy at the movies. Coming to you live from Linden Ponds. Their reviews are really tough but fair.
Grace and Mindy at the movies.
Even though their knees are both beyond
Grace
repair.
and Mindy
So are the
at
hips.
the movies.
Mindy's grandson Jeffrey's in a frat.
Delta.
The producer Robert is
Lazy
lazy
and
and fat.
fat. Look,
Grace and Mindy at the movies. Grace and Mindy at the movies. Grace and Mindy at the movies. Coming to you live from Linden Ponds. Hail Caesar. Or is it? Hello and welcome to Grace and Mindy at the movies. I'm your host, Mindy Dunard, joined as always by my sidekick. She's the Ed McMahon to my Johnny Carson, the Barnum to my Bailey, the Angelina Jolie to my third world orphan. I'm talking, of course, of my dear friend, Grace O'Neilhan. Gracie, how you doing?
Oh, hello, everyone. I wish I could say wonderful.
Oh,
But
no.
unfortunately, that's not the case. You see, I was embroiled in a legal battle recently. I witnessed a car accident, being that I was in my car and I caused an accident.
Oh, no.
So I got first-hand view of it, really. That's what I told the lawyers, at least.
At least you had a good view.
Sure. Best seats in the house.
This seat's in
So I hit a car. The car was owned by some little pissant from Westchester. And turns out his dad's in a part of the city council or something or other. Well, long story short, I'm embroiled in a legal battle that is beyond repair at this point. My credit is just to the crapper.
What did the judge say?
Well, the judge said, first he said, turn around, sweetheart, I'm over here. I was facing the wrong way. I thought there
that's
was a
good.
lot of judges behind me. After I turned around, he
That
said,
can be confusing when someone's wearing all black in the back row.
That's
and then
right.
You think it's them.
turns out it's just a looky-loo. Not even anyone involved.
Just a lucky,
Just
a fake Your Honor.
That's right. I turned around and he said, sweetheart, this is an open and shut case. And I don't want to tell you how much I owe, but it's not pretty.
I'm sorry.
It's terrible.
Your despair must just be beyond repair.
That's one way to put it, I'd say. How are you?
Well, I actually had a good experience with a car this week.
That's good.
You ever taken an Uber?
I'm not familiar. Is that a German thing?
It's maybe originally it was, but
Is that Heinrich's
it-
car?
Heinrich's doing. I think Heinrich is more of a lift guy.
That's right.
Ironically, but
I think you might be from Berlin, so I'm way off here.
So it's this app that you put on your cellular phone.
Okay.
And you press the box, and a ride comes for you.
That's incredible.
And that's exactly what I wanted to do because, it was so cold and I can't drive if it's less than 30 degrees.
That's right.
Because of my condition. And so I press the app and this guy
got
comes.
Celsius disease.
Celsius disease.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was stricken as a youth.
That's right.
Never recovered. So I press the app and you see the picture of the driver.
Oh, beautiful.
And so it's this black guy with dreadlocks.
Oh dear.
And his name
Scary.
was Coriolis.
That's his first name,
That
or
was
that's
his-
two names?
I think it was his first name. I think
because you're running them together. I can't tell.
just like my friend Jimmy Stewart, he was named after the stars, Coriolis. And so I get in the car. He has this accent, and I'm just like, where is he from? He didn't make it clear. And so he's just like, how are you, ma'am? And I said, good, how are you? And he's like, oh, good. And then he didn't say where he was from, even still.
goodness.
And so I was just like, all right.
Where's his etiquette?
Finally, I wrestled it out of him, and he's from Jamaica.
My God.
He came over from Jamaica.
Oh, did he try to sell you some of those wacky tobaccos that they love over there in Jamaica?
No, I was actually really excited to meet him because I have a major passion for jerk recipes.
Well, you must love Robert's cooking. 'Cause he's the biggest jerk I know.
Yeah, I don't love it when it's made by a jerk. Robert,
Maybe that's the one thing you can cook properly is jerk chicken. It's the name's right in there.
if the boot fits, yeah, maybe it's one of those deals. But so yeah, he told me all these jerk recipes and actually invited me over.
Wow.
So I've been spending the last several weeks with him.
That's where you've been.
Cooking me. Sorry, but I got your letters. Sorry I haven't gone back to you right
That's
away.
how long you've been there. I've been able to send a letter.
You've sent many letters, and they were very sweet. But, every time we cooked, I just couldn't quite match him. I'm the Salieri to his Mozart. And after many nights of trying to match him, my morale is beyond repair.
Now you're leaving out some juicy details. I mean, you're with a guy for a couple of weeks. What happened? There must have been something else cooking, if you will.
Well, I'm kind of retired from that
Is
game.
that right?
I
He didn't
miss.
show you his Key Islands.
He didn't. No, he didn't show me any members of the bobsled team. Sorry
his Cool Runnings?
Sorry to disappoint the viewers at home.
I'm trying to get our ratings up here.
Yeah,
We need some juicy details, but that's that, I guess.
I wish that he was a handsome fella.
Sure.
I wish I could tell you that we were feeling the rhythm, feeling the ride, getting on it for bobsled time, but just pure cooking.
So his name was Aurora Borealis.
Coriolis.
Okay, sorry
Coriolis
about
was his name. So Hail Caesar, the new Coen Brothers film.
Getting right into it.
Let's go into the plot. Brought to you by Penniman Hill, right on the Hingham-Rockland border. Penniman Hill, pick out your plot of land. Eddie Mannix, Josh Brolin, is a down-on-his-luck producer for one of the major movie studios in the post-war Hollywood era, and also serves as the studio's fixer. Eddie faces his biggest challenge yet when the studio's biggest star, Baird Whitlock, George Clooney, is kidnapped and held for ransom by a group called The Future, a down-on-its-luck communist cell block composed of disgruntled Hollywood screenwriters. All this while Deanna Moran, Scarlett Johansson, a down-on-her-luck Marilyn Monroe type, becomes pregnant out of wedlock, tisk tisk, and down-on-his-luck Western film star Hobie Doyle, Alden, Aaron, right, something,
no idea.
something suspicious, anyway. Hobie Doyle struggles to make the transition to more serious dramas. Will Eddie be able to keep this motherlode scoop from leaking to Thora and Thessaly Thacker, Tilda Swinton, twin sisters who write for rival down-on-their-luck gossip columns?
The Eddie Murphy of this film, Tilda Swinton.
She was the comic relief, although there were some funny parts.
Sure.
Before we talk about the comedy, the drama, and at all, let's go to one of our favorite games on the show. It's called Did You Like It or Didn't You? And this week it's brought to you by Pete's Barbershop. Pete's Barbershop. Come in for a cut. So, Gracie, let me ask
It's
you.
so great that we're getting all these sponsors.
We're getting all
How do you swing in these? By the way?
All our sponsors, they don't try too hard with their
That's
slogans,
right.
but
But they're getting my letters.
but at least they get the letters and they listen to the show.
Sure.
So Gracie, I'll throw it to you first. Did you like it or didn't you?
You know what? I love this film. I didn't love all the parts with Josh Brolin and the like, but all the little in between parts was like a bunch of little movies. It was like I was watching a compilation of the greatest hits of old Hollywood.
That's true. It was very very reminiscent of the Coen Brothers in this one. They honor old Hollywood.
Sure do.
With some superfluous song and dance numbers. And then there's one with Channing Tatum, one of my personal favorites.
He keeps popping up here, doesn't he?
He keeps popping up. I swear I'm not driving the curriculum.
I think I saw you popping up when he came on screen.
Oh,
From your chair.
Yikes, feel the rhythm, feel the ride. So he's in this song and dance number with a bunch of Navy men.
Right. My one weakness.
Oh,
Boy, do I love a sailor.
when you get a sailor in a fat suit, you are,
My goodness.
you are out to
And
sea.
if he's wearing a wig, I'm in the Pacific Ocean.
You're in the Pacific. There is no reeling you back in. No law could get you back.
Panama Canal, here I come.
But, so yeah, there's some fun numbers in it. For me, when it started out, I was having fun with it. And then by the end of it, I was just like, Scarlett Johansson's here. I don't know why she needs to be here.
Oh my God.
Jonah Hill's
Every
here.
time I see Scarlett Johansson, I think that same thing. No matter what movie she's in, she doesn't need to be there.
Doesn't need to be
Just
here.
a pair of, use your imaginations and a pretty face.
Like,
on
yeah,
that one.
I mean, she's talented as all get up, but this one and Chef, and it's just like, what are you doing here?
She was in Chef?
She was in
you
Chef.
keep talking about Chef. Should I watch that one?
Yeah, Coriolis and I. That's
Is that right?
his favorite film. We should.
Not Cool Runnings.
That's
Like I
you would think.
You would think.
One would think, but it's a really fun plot where there's this disgruntled group of writers who are communists, and they capture George Clooney for ransom.
That's right.
In a really fun scene, and so it got me thinking about if you could kidnap any movie star,
Ooh.
who would it be?
Boy, I have to go with James Brolin on this one. I gotta go for the daddy. Just
Staying close to home.
I sure am. The apple doesn't fall far. Now, I wouldn't kick Josh Brolin out of bed, that's for certain. But I would kidnap James. I would throw him in the trunk of my LeBaron, which I had at the time, you see. And I would drive him to Linden Ponds, of course, because over here, no one's gonna find you. Certainly not my family, that's for sure. And we'd just play checkers and talk about socialism. I assume he's a socialist. I don't know much about him.
He's got that look about him.
He's got that look about him.
Looks like he's got some good ideas.
That's right. Looks like he cares about the common man.
And would you hold him for ransom, or would you just keep him?
Oh, well, no, of course I'd hold him for ransom. I'm not an idiot. I'm business savvy. How do you think I get all these sponsors?
That's true.
You know what I mean? I think James Brolin is worth, take his net worth, and this is for you kids out there, how you decide what a ransom is. You take the net worth, and you take 30%.
Is that what it is?
That's what it is, yeah.
I thought it was half plus 7.
Is that what it is?
I
was never a math person, but if I recall correctly in my liberal arts class, it's the net worth by 30%.
Okay.
Which in James Brolin's case would be $700,000.
Wait, would this be $700,000 during his era?
Oh,
or right now?
You're right.
Because we need to
let's see. Okay,
think
taking
of inflation.
Let's see the compounding interest divided by carry the 2 there. 20,000 then.
20,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
With interest, yeah, of course.
That's fair. And would it be a lump sum, or would you take it in? Would you take it in installments?
Well, I'll tell you this. I'm not a patient woman. So if the lump sum isn't paid in due time, I'm sending body parts. They're getting a James Brolin finger.
I believe if there's one thing about Gracie, she is not a patient woman.
And I still got those shares. So and I know how to use them. Let's just say that.
And you were supposed to lend them. I neglected to sleep with them one night, and they were right back in your arms.
Right. Well, I realize how much I need them on a daily basis.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
I can't argue with that. I wish.
Who would you kidnap?
Go ahead. Who would I kidnap? I would go for a twofer.
Ooh, getting greedy.
Yes. Because if you know anything about me, you're the
sure
impatient
do.
one. I'm the greedy one.
That's right. All my Werther's originals just gone.
Just your candy bowl is beyond repair. I would kidnap Molly Ringwald and Phoebe Cates.
I'm not familiar with the last one. Who's that?
She's do you ever see where she gets out of the pool and takes off her bikini top?
Fasting in Ridgemont.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Fasting at Ridgemont High.
The one where they go on a hunger strike in high school.
That's right.
Fasting at Ridgemont High. I would so I take the two of them, and then America would be like, whoa, wait a second, Molly Ringwald and Phoebe Cates haven't been in a movie in forever.
That's right.
What happened?
So you take them now.
I take them now.
Okay, not at their peak.
Right now's their peak. Two of the biggest starlets. and I hang on to them, and then eventually people would notice. And
so you're really doing this out of love to revitalize their movie career.
Revitalize them, yeah. And you know what? Maybe I'd only if he's along the way, I'd throw in Steve Gutenberg.
Sure.
Tell him I'd be like, move over, make some room in the trunk.
Police Academy 10.
Police Academy 10 needs
to writing.
Needs to happen. We need our star, Steve Gutenberg, and I think I'd do layaway. I'd be willing to.
Is that right?
I'd be willing to. Plus, it kind of it keeps the actors around. The interest goes up.
What's the calculation here?
Okay,
30%.
So
net
let's
worth
see.
times
You take Molly Ringwald, square it, plus Phoebe Cates, square it.
Isn't it Molly Ringwald? You divide by 16 for every candle.
You divide, once for every candle, and then you divide Phoebe Cates' sum by 40, because each of the days that they fasted at Ridgemont High, it was during Lent.
40.
During Lent, full 40 days, and with Steve Gutenberg, you also divide by 10 because it's the number of police academies that we all want.
That's right.
And the number for all three of them comes out to $825,000.
Okay.
And
$825,000.
yes.
You're talking about layaway. So these are the different installments.
So, yeah.
Gotcha.
So week by week, I'd rake in the Benjamins.
You'd be retired.
I'd be retired. Yeah.
Practically.
Wouldn't have to do the
Again.
show anymore. Although I loved Gracie. I gotta tell you, I love this show.
Best part of my night.
It's best. And when the clock hits 4, I'm like, you know what? It's getting late. I'm tired, but I can soldier on just a little longer.
Oh, you're such a sweetheart.
Because I'm doing this show with my pal. So this movie took place in post-war Hollywood.
That's right.
Which is
The good old days.
The good old days. Which brings us to a new game that I'm really excited about called Old Hollywood.
Wait, I just realized something. I didn't ask if you liked it.
Oh, did I like it or didn't I?
Did you like it? Oh, didn't you?
If we're talking the Coriolis
Yeah.
stars, because he's the theme this week, I'll give it 2.5.
2.5 spliffs.
It started out at a 3.5. I was a little less excited about it by the end.
I see.
The Coen brothers, I feel like they've done better,
Certainly.
but they've surely done worse.
Barton Fink, I mean, come on, a masterpiece.
Barton Fink,
best one.
Fargo.
Fargo. They talk so silly in that movie.
They
don't
do.
What a silly accent.
You want to give it a try?
Of course, yeah, sure.
They always go like, don't you know we gotta play ball here?
That's right.
Don't you know
Eat some syrup with everything.
we gotta eat some syrup and
hockey.
and we gotta chop the wood and give each other a pat on the back.
That's right.
And we gotta trim the prunes. And
My favorite part of that movie.
the flavor, yeah. The prune trimming, we gotta trim them with a wood chipper. That's the best part. But just like we like to wax poetic about Minnesota, we also love to wax poetic about Old Hollywood.
Hollywood. Let's get back
just
to
like
the
this
shit.
movie did. Old Hollywood
my
this
God.
week is brought to you by Talbot's. Old Hollywood. When a cup of coffee, a candy bar, a newspaper, and a gallon of gas were all you needed for the perfect party.
Old Hollywood. When when a minority never looked you in the eyes.
Yes. I remember it well. Old Hollywood. When P90X was nothing more than the name of Mary Pickford's collie.
Old Hollywood. When a nickel could buy you a cup of dreams, and $1 could buy you a baby on the black market.
Old Hollywood. When fooling the man from the draft board actually meant something. And there was something at stake.
Old Hollywood. When a man would open the door for you, he'd pull out a chair, he would wait for you to finish eating before he would eat, and when he would when he would abuse his children before his wife.
Yes, I remember it well. He'd hold the door, even if it was one of those revolving doors,
That's right.
going into a department store. He would keep running through until you got in the one you wanted.
That's right. It was kind of like a Russian roulette.
It was like Russian. It's like Russian roulette. He'd wait until you got into the chamber,
That's right.
and then got in the door.
And if you had a real wise guy, he'd stop and you'd bash your head into the glass.
Yes, Old
And
Hollywood.
some minority would help you up.
when the minorities had bandages in their hands and the ability to tell you where they're from right off the bat.
That's right.
Even if you knew where they were from, they'd still tell
That's
you.
right. You just get rid of the awkwardness
It was always clear.
because it's always in the back of your mind.
Old Hollywood, when the streets were paved with cement.
Old Hollywood, when you could smoke indoors and eat outdoors.
Old Hollywood, when they allowed smoked salmon indoors.
That's right. You can't smoke a salmon inside anymore.
You can't do it
That's the
inside
law.
anymore. It's ridiculous.
That's right. And what am I supposed to do for Thanksgiving?
And what are you supposed to do on an airplane?
That's right. Old Hollywood. When you dress up to go to the airport, the old Hollywood airport, and you tip your hat to the stewardess, and they'd all be, and the gay stewards there, they'd be gay, but they wouldn't be upfront about it. They'd hold on to that lie.
Yeah, they'd keep it in the back, shoved under the soda cart.
That's right. Which you didn't have to pay for back then, by the way, either.
They just give you a Coke and a smile
That's right.
without any
And a
question.
cup of dreams, if you ask.
And a cup of when a cup of dreams was actually still on the market, and you didn't have to pay for headphones either.
That's right. Old Hollywood, when all the menus were still in English.
Ah, yes. And when gluten-free was nothing more than the name of Mary Pickford's kitten.
And gluten-free was when you couldn't get Steve Gutenberg.
When you could, which would not be a problem.
That's right.
If I really went through with my kidnapping plot. Old Hollywood.
Hollywood.
When you could just kidnap someone.
That's right.
And no one would make a big fuss.
You just asked for some money, and it's the way things were done.
And it's the way it was.
And the way it should be.
And the way it should be. Old Hollywood. When the vodka was sublime, and you could drink a whole bottle without Rhonda the nurse patting you on the shoulder and telling you that she thinks it's time for you to go back to your room.
Old Hollywood. When they'd fluff your pillow and they wouldn't complain about the bed sores you had.
Old Hollywood. When the mint under your pillow was a Girl Scout Thin Mint cookie, and when you could go to the rec room and play and rig a game of bingo and get caught for it and not get a strike.
Old Hollywood, when you could go to the rec room without some cockamamie bullcrap distraction from some high school band in there playing a crackerjack or something, or some old slave song, and you didn't have to clap at the end and pretend it was a good show, and really you just would kill for a stripper.
Yes, I remember it well, old Hollywood, when we were still 50 years away from Robert.
Oh, sweet dreams. I was so naive then.
Those were the days.
I had no idea the hellish landscape that...
I was
smoked salmon from earlier.
I was so young and full of hope. And then there was Robert.
I had a cup of dreams in my back pocket.
And now my cup is chipped beyond repair.
And they won't buy you a new one, will they?
They won't give me...
My God.
And even if they do, it won't be filled with dreams.
That's right.
That's for sure. Well, that was fun.
That
was really fun reminiscing.
And it's also fun for the kids to hear what it was like.
Because they don't really know.
They don't really know
what it was really like.
They're there with their iPads and the Game Boys, and they don't understand.
It's an educational program.
That's right. Can I introduce a segment I just thought of?
Absolutely.
Now we have the wonderful Tilda Swinton, who Eddie Murphy'd. The whole movie was wonderful.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Playing two parts must be difficult to learn so many lines. But I'd like to know, one was evil, one was sort of the nicer twin. Let's go around to Linden Ponds and talk about everyone's evil twin. What do you say?
Yes.
I'll tell you what your evil twin would be like.
Okay.
And you will do the same to me. Mindy's evil twin. Wait, who's Mindy and who's Gracie?
That's me. Mindy's me.
Sorry, let me put my
Lay
glasses
it on me.
on.
Big. Can you see
There
me?
we go. Okay.
Can you hear? Robert, the microphone up.
Mindy, of course. Mindy's evil twin, Cindy. Now, she would be 6 feet tall. Eyes as black as a night. She would have an affinity for non-decorative soaps. So the least decorative soaps you can think of.
Talk about wicked.
She'd have the balance of a gymnast. and the hair of Sophia Loren.
Wow, my polar opposite.
And let me tell you this: she'd be great at pool, but she wouldn't be my friend. She would be just a pain in my side. That's your evil twin, sweetheart.
That last part means a lot to me, and I'm sorry we don't win more often when we play pool. I'm really trying to get better.
We keep trying to do the con on them, and it never works because you're not good at it.
Old Hollywood, when you could pull a hustle without being good at the hustle.
That's right.
Those were the days.
Those were the days. Oh boy, we could reminisce all day.
Oh, you could just pull a racket. You and I could have a basketball racket,
That's
just
right.
like in White Men Can't Jump. All right, Gracie's evil twin would be named Macy.
Of course.
And she'd have a deep, scraggly voice. And she'd go, I try to say goodbye and I choke. Try to walk away and I stumble. But then when we wanted to hear the rest of the story, she'd disappear. And then she would have this twirly mustache and a little bit of a goatee. And then whenever someone asked her what she was up to, she'd go, bring me the scruples. Mwahaha, mwahaha. And then she would sneak into the store and buy a big box of Wrigley chickadee gum, and she'd poke them all out, but then keep them in a pocket. And she'd be like, why didn't you just keep them in the container? Why'd you poke them from the container and into your pocket? And she'd just say, don't worry about that. Just bring me the scruples. And suspense would be in the air, and she wouldn't be my friend.
Oh, dear. Much less nicer things in there. But I wouldn't want to run into Macy.
Yeah.
What was her name?
Macy.
I got it.
Macy, with a deep voice, who's always just worrying about the scruples, which you never.
I've never been on record.
Never on record.
Being interested in the scruples.
Knock on wood.
Sure. Now let's talk about Robert's evil twin.
Robert's evil twin.
Now.
Robert's evil twin would come in and fix your furnace on one try.
That's right. And he'd have an appropriate amount of hair on his body, and he'd be an appropriate height. He wouldn't be showing off with his big lug of his head,
Yes.
Hitting the ceiling.
He'd be as clean as a fiddle and fit as a whistle. And what would his name be?
His name would be
Achilles.
Perfect.
And he'd be built like a Greek god.
That's right.
And
Instead of like a dump truck.
Yes, and when you shook his hand, you'd feel like you were holding an oak tree with bated breath.
That's right.
Not feeling like you just dropped a smoked salmon.
And he would bathe as well.
Yes, and when we sat in the production meetings leading up to the show, he would come up with ideas.
That's
just
right.
any idea
My God.
at all.
He would do his job. That's what he would do.
He would do his job. He would come up with segments. He'd hang up the billboards
That's
we
right.
made. He'd hang up the posters and flyers around town. And you know what his evil twin would do?
Tell me.
He'd get us sponsors with slogans.
That's right.
With actual slogans.
These slogans are killing us, aren't they?
I mean, at least we're getting some sponsors.
That's right. Let's move on to the next segment.
Next
Please.
segment, let's see what we got. The Coen brothers, their movies tend to be very que sera, sera. In this one particularly so, where there just kind of isn't a moral to the story. But if you really look deep, I really think there is a moral. And I think
I agree.
you agree. There's
Absolutely.
a very clear moral that in Hail Caesar, it just goes to show you that sometimes, you know, when the chips are stacked up above your nose and you just can't see the forest at the end of the tunnel, you sometimes
You just gotta turn around
yeah.
and look to the sky for the answers.
And then in the sky, you know, the sun will just be shining so hard, and you might not be able to see the helicopter
Right.
cloud message that's trying to be shown to you. But if you adjust your glasses
That's right.
and look real close,
If you just change your perspective and look forward instead of backwards, and
while you're looking upwards,
and while you're looking up, look forward as well. Throw forward in there. Don't forget to chase your dreams. Now, your dream's not gonna be walking slow. You gotta chase it. So that's why you look forward.
You gotta put your scooter on the rabbit setting.
That's right.
And chase that dream.
No matter how much it squeals and screams and screeches on the pavement, you gotta put it on rabbit mode.
You gotta tough it. You and the rabbit have to tough it out.
That's right.
And chase that dream until it's shoved in your cup. And you have a cup of dreams.
And then you drink that cup, and you're filled with nutrients, and you start to see the light. But don't fly too close to the sun.
Not too close to the sun, because if you do, sometimes you just kind of get your head too full of your dreams.
That's right.
And
you're swimming. Now your head is swimming around with dreams with no direction, and you're still looking. Now you're looking backward. 'Cause
now
you've
it's
done a
backwards.
180.
And just dreams disguised as pure ego.
That's right.
And chivalry dies at your feet.
That's right.
And you just look down and you're like, when did this go awry? the best laid plans of mice and men, gang after glay, and then you just need a friend.
That's right. Just a shoulder to cry on, a leg to stand on.
I need a repair.
I need to repair. And you just put on your cap. You smile at your neighbor.
and you just push the feather into the cap, and now you got a feather in your cap. And you're marching around, and people on the sidewalks are like, "Look at this one-woman parade.
That's right.
Isn't she a marvel?"
And one is still the loneliest number, but
there'll ever be.
But two is a crowd.
And two's a crowd, and you just divide it by 40.
That's right.
Just like you do for Phoebe Cates.
Carry the three.
You carry the three, and you hang on to the dream.
That's right. You fall backwards in a show of trust to the world, and you're caught by your own dreams, and they...
Your dreams are like your co-workers that, days ago, you were just sitting there around the water cooler,
right.
talking all the latest office gossip, and then 5 days later...
You're forced to go to a summit in the hot sun.
Go to a hot sun summit, and the sun is just making you squint, and you can't look up,
That's right.
but you fall back.
But you just gotta put on your sunglasses.
You just gotta put
on your sunscreen.
You put on your sunglasses, your sunscreen, and eat your
reach for the stars.
and your sunflower seeds.
That's right.
And reach up and let them catch you. And if you do, I swear, you might just make a friend.
There you go. And that's the moral of Hail Caesar.
I think we agree. Yeah.
I think we agree.
I think we hit that right.
It's crazy how much we agreed on that. We both came out of the movie thinking the same thing.
Yeah, I mean it's not easy to sum up a Coen Brothers movie.
That's right.
But if you just think about it and just put your sunglasses on,
If you put your mind to it, and you give it 110%, then eventually you'll reach a crossroads.
you reach a crossroads where you see a man who just needs to tell you where he's from.
That's right.
And
But
if
if you see the Texaco station, you've gone too far. You need to hang back a couple blocks, make
then,
a left.
then you do need to look
They
backward.
look backwards and then turn right instead of left. Then you'll be on Cherry Street. Cherry turns into Miller, and then and there's just a couple blocks.
And then
past
the
that.
freeway's
The
just
freeway's
just beyond Charles Street.
now you're gonna want to head east, even though you're trying to head south. It's just the sign; they haven't changed it yet. You're
That's
gonna want to
right.
head east.
Don't mistake looking east for not looking up towards
That's
your
right.
dreams. It's just sometimes you just have to take steps backwards in order to make progress.
That's right. That's right.
And wow, that's beautiful.
That was beautiful.
We've been getting some questions on the Bluebird
That's right.
lately, which is
Twitter.
great. Before we go to that, I got a request on Face Notebook, which is like a notebook but with faces on
That's
your
right.
computer.
Make it easy to remember.
And do you know Nan Wally? She's in 14.
Oh yeah, of course.
14 T?
Yes, she bakes those butterscotch cookies.
Great butterscotch cooker.
That's right.
Baker rather.
Right.
Her grandson is dating a girl, Jill, who loves the show, and she had a request that we say "Yes, Queen."
Yes, Queen. Is that a new municipality that we're not?
I was thinking maybe it's like a drag, like a new drag queen.
I don't know how I feel
I
about
don't know.
that. It's
But anyway, can we say it together? Would that be okay?
sure, yeah, sure.
1, 2, 3. Yes, Queen. Jill, I hope you enjoyed it.
That's a shout
as
out
much
to
as
your
we
friend,
did.
Mrs. Queen.
Mrs. Queen. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did.
We sure did.
So let's go to the Bluebird.
Let's
See what
go to the Twitter. This one is from @JA Brownie.
you know. I think she's doing. I think she's doing Jabrownie.
Jabrownie.
That's clever.
Is that clever? What does that mean?
It's like a jabroni.
Okay. What is that? Is that an ethnicity I'm not aware of?
It's
It's jabroni people.
it's a food of the Peruvians.
Oh, okay. Well, you need to stay away from that restaurant.
That's right.
She says, "Hi, @Grace and Mindy. Looking forward to the review of Hail Caesar."
You're welcome.
There you go. You just had that. What's your theory on the nice mermaid's illegitimate child? Is it Jesus?
So of course she's talking about Scarlett Johansson's character.
That's right.
And in the plot, she thinks of sending the baby up for adoption and then adopting it so that no one's the wiser.
Perfect plan.
But she brings up a good point. The Coen brothers, they do tend to be pretty religious.
That's right.
A Serious Man, of course, is based on the Book of Job.
Well, you're quite the fan, aren't you?
I like those brothers.
You like those? You just like any family movies.
I like them almost as much as the Parker brothers because I love a good game.
Oh, sure.
Good
Monopoly.
game boy.
This one is a wicked with Monopoly.
Interesting thought here.
Yes.
So which would make her the Virgin Mary.
Now, as we all know, God had to put Jesus up for adoption, and let
That's
Mary take hold of it.
I see what she means, like it's so it's a woman. Remember, she said she doesn't really know who the father is.
I do remember that. Yes.
Scarlett Johansson said that, and similarly, Mary, like, she's aware of God,
Sure.
but she didn't know him personally,
Right.
And then she's just like, okay, well, we gotta figure out something, and then that would make Jonah Hill like Joseph the carpenter.
Then
But
who was the Judas?
who is the
That's what I want to know.
the gossip columnist? No. Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum. Oh, don't say that about my Channing.
I would still even if he betrayed our Lord,
Sure.
I would still forgive him.
For those abs, wouldn't you? Oh my goodness. Get great cheese on those things.
He has Jesus abs pretty much. Channing Tatum does. Rock solid. And Jonah Hill, just as kind of useless as Joseph, pretty
right.
much like
And George Clooney, of course, is Pontius Pilate.
Pontius Pilate. That's right. Dressed up like a Roman
Sure.
the whole time.
Real subtle, Coen Brothers.
Why don't you punch us in the nose
That's
next
right.
time? And the wise men.
Well, the communists, of course. They had a lot
communists.
of great ideas.
They had some wise ideas for sure.
I didn't see any frankincense and gold and myrrh, so but I guess that would be a couple of screenplays.
Yeah. Old Hollywood when you could still find myrrh.
That's right.
I can never find it anymore.
So it's real. It's you got to go on Amazon.
Went
So-
into Rite Aid and I was like, "Where's the myrrh section?" And they were like, "What?" And
So I think we answered a question.
yeah, I think we did.
It is Jesus.
I think we covered it.
Definitively, Grace and Mindy. Put in the stamp on that one.
It seems obvious to me.
That's right.
And we appreciate the question,
right.
Jabrownie. Thank you very
This
much.
this segment was brought to you by Entenmann's Cakes. Entenmann's Cakes, not an official sponsor.
Is that what they're going with to try to?
That's what I'm going with.
That's what you're going.
That's
okay.
what I'm going
I thought maybe they tried to do reverse psychology.
Well,
to
that's
their,
when I asked them to be a sponsor. That was the note they sent me. So I did ask, what's your tagline, and they sent me, "We are not a sponsor. Please do not put us on the show."
okay.
So that's what I'm taking as that tagline.
So they're on the record.
They're on there.
Big win for Mindy and Grace.
That's right.
Well, take care.